cooperated, so it was a little comfortable for you to get here. I had faith that you would be here regardless. We're mothers, and mothers do not let anything stop them when it comes to our children. And this is such an important subject, the protection of our children and keeping them safe and creating a sense of community and understanding, not only of what African American mothers and sons are experiencing, but what our entire community is experiencing. And we have so many people throughout this weekend who have gone out, regardless of the rain, and have made themselves vocal and have expressed their dissatisfaction with where this country has gone in over-policing and in the threat to our black children. And we're just very thankful that you're here to help be a part of that solution. So at each of the tables, we should have one of the mothers, most of them, if we could have the mothers that were here that spoke. So for those who were not here for the first part, we were in the Lee Auditorium, and it was more of a panel, and each of the mothers presented their story. And towards the end, we did not have an opportunity for there to be a response, and many people felt that that was probably a good thing, that what you heard needed to sit with you and resonate so that you could come back. And there was a request that we do this part too, and that's exactly what we're doing. So we're now here, and this is an opportunity for each of these mothers to sit at the individual tables and again share their stories. It may be the same story. We have multiple stories, so it may be a new story. And then we want to be able to hear from you, and then those mothers will guide that conversation. And then we have on the table a list of common questions that through the next hour and a half or so we would like you to consider, and then report back towards the end when Amy will come back to the podium or come to the podium. Okay, very good. We'll come to the podium and direct some action steps and some reports back from the individual tables. Before we proceed, we have Dr. Leah Francis Gunning with us, who has done extensive research on the risk to young black boys, and she is going to share that information with you. Again, I just want to thank you and welcome you here. We really do appreciate your participation. We know that there is power in not only women, but particularly in mothers. Whether you're mothering your own child or mothering someone else's child. I personally feel they're all my children, and I feel very protective of them. And I think you feel the same way too. So thank you very much for being here and taking that concern. Dr. Gunning?
I'm sorry, we're a little different, me and her. I'm much taller. So welcome. So we're so excited you all are here. What we are really clear about is that as women, this is an opportunity for us to work across the color lines to end violence. And so we're excited that you're here. As Christy mentioned, we set up the room so that we do have time for Q&A today. But one of the things we want to make sure of is that you all leave with some commitments. So I've got some commitment statements that you can leave with. Also that if you would like to fill one out for us so we can see what you've committed to, we can blog, tweet, Facebook, some of your words too. This is such a wonderful moment for St. Louis to show off how well we're going to do this, how well this is going to work out, how well we're going to work together. And so we thank you already for signing up for the journey. Did I say I'm Amy Hunter? I work for the YWCA. I should probably tell you that. Amy Hunter, I work for the YWCA as Director of Racial Justice. One thing that has worked really well is that if you've been to any of the protests either in the day or in the evening time, you may notice that they are racially diverse. And so if you've ever seen a mother whose child has been picked on or harmed in any shape, form, or fashion, we turn into different people. Yeah. And so we are really clear that violence is always happening to queer people. We're really clear about that. And so why not all work together to end violence? By all means. I've been quoting Ida B. Wells because she started the anti-lynching laws here the United States. So it used to be legal to lynch people in the United States. It was not a crime. You didn't do any time. It wasn't illegal. Police didn't come and arrest you. And Ida B. Wells was an African American who was a part of the women's suffrage movement as well. Worked to end lynching laws. And it sounds crazy today that we ever had that, we had to put that into law, right? Doesn't that sound crazy? I want my grandchildren to say how crazy rape and racial profiling sound. I want to do that like, really? That happened in the olden days? I'm like, yeah, it was terrible. But in Ferguson, we changed that forever.
There you go.
And so we're so glad you signed up for this evening. Leah Gunning Francis is a scholar, and she's written on relationships of mothers and sons. We're going to ask her to set the tone for your small tabletop discussion and questions from there.
Thank you, Lady. Thank you, Christy. My name is Leah Gunning Francis. I teach at Eaton Seminary in Webster Groves, and I'm delighted to be here with you again this evening. Last time I was here, I shared some about my research with mothers of Black boys, and the purpose was to give voice to their experiences of raising Black boys, because it is my belief, and many others, that far too often Black mothers' experiences and Black mothers' voices are not included in our public conversations about our children. And so events like this, the work I'm doing, and several other people, are an attempt to help bring our voices into the public square, to say our voices matter, our children matter, and we believe that they need to be a part of all public conversations that are being served in the interest of our children. Because Black mothers will not frame Black children as a problem. Far too often, the public conversations about Black children, especially Black boys, it's framed through the lens that they are a problem. That is antithetical to our view of our children. So it is critically important that we continue to allow our voices to be heard in all of the spaces and places that matter. And we are very appreciative of all the mothers that have gathered here today, so that we can have an opportunity to share and dialogue with each other about issues that are important to all of us as mothers concerning all of our children. For our table conversations this evening, there are some questions that have been provided for you to discuss. We just asked, we know that we'll have a time limit tonight for the question period. Okay, so about 20 minutes to 8, we're going to stop the conversation. So we're just going to ask that the moderator for the table be mindful of the speaking, because so people like, I'm kind of a talker. And I'm like, when I first took the mic, I was getting ready to say, no justice. I'm like, because I just got back from the protest. So I'm like, all right, just switch gears real quick. But just be mindful. If you're somebody who likes to talk, we encourage everybody to talk. But if you had a chance, let's just make sure everybody has a chance. Is that fair? We might not get to say everything we want to say, but we want every person at the table to be able to have a fair contribution. So we look forward to these conversations. We look forward to just the honesty and integrity that we know each person will bring to their story. And we know that each person will be respectful of each person's story, even if we don't agree. We don't have to agree to be respectful, but that each person will be respectful. And finally, the last thing I want to mention is that on Saturday, this Saturday at 12:01 p.m., there are 3 pastors and a professor that have organized a Mother's March for Justice in Clinton. I have some flyers that are available, and we'll be distributing them on the tables, and we encourage all mothers and aunts and sisters to come and stand in calls for justice on invite you, know that you are welcome, and I'll be distributing some of the flyers for that as well. Thank you very much, and we look forward to productive conversations.
Are ready to begin. Make notice that there is a